Untitled PASTDF Carey write the following celebrity news script in very simple English, so even a 5th grade student can understand it easily. Keep the tone casual and in a storytelling style like friendly gossip. Important rules: do not add or remove any information. Do not shorten or summarize. Keep the script exactly the same length as the original, line by line. Do not include intros, conclusions, or extra lines. Now, rewrite this script following these rules. Edit simplified Hamilton Ferrari news script document. Lewis Hamilton has been talked about joining Ferrari early, but it looks like Mercedes isn't finished with him yet when it comes to his contract with the 7-time world champion. Even though everything is settled between Hamilton and Mercedes, Manyev rewritten the script in simple, 5th grade level English while keeping all the original information and maintaining the same length and structure. The language is now more conversational and easier to understand, with complex terms simplified like contractual obligations becoming contract, a Brackley-based squad becoming Brackley-based team, etc., and sentences broken down into clearer, shorter parts where needed. Retriclod can make mistakes. Please double-check responses. Sonnet 4 copy published. Lewis Hamilton has been talked about joining Ferrari early, but it looks like Mercedes isn't finished with him yet when it comes to his contract with the 7-time world champion. Even though everything is settled between Hamilton and Mercedes, many people thought he would be part of Ferrari during the test day on Tuesday in Abu Dhabi after the 2024 season ended, but Mercedes has something to say about this. Is this just Mercedes being mean since other teams have let their drivers go this way? And if so, could this affect Hamilton's remaining time in 2024? It's obvious that the 2024 Abu Dhabi race will be remembered as one of the most emotional races ever in racing history because it's going to be Hamilton's last race wearing a Mercedes uniform. But time moves on and it will become a memory from Monday. This means that the 7-time world champion and his new team Ferrari would start working together on their shared goal, which is to win the 8th driver championship as soon as possible. This is a mission that his rival will make sure won't be easy for Hamilton. It would be very hard to get used to a new team with new engineers, especially after working for 11 years with pretty much the same crew. The fact that he will be driving a new car is quite a difficult challenge by itself. That's why he would want to spend as much time testing it as he can. One of these chances was the tire testing day that happens 2 days after the race in Abu Dhabi on Tuesday. This is where teams like Red Bull and McLaren have been kind by letting their new drivers test out the car and get used to it as fast as possible. Hamilton's situation is the same as Red Bull's, where the Austrian team gave Gasly permission to work with Alpine just a couple of days after ending his contract duties with AlphaTauri. But it looks like Mercedes won't be willing to do the same with Hamilton. Many people think this doesn't make much sense because at that time everything will be finished and Hamilton's time at Mercedes will be over. BBC reports that the Brackley-based team is not ready to give up on Hamilton just yet. This move could cause a lot of anger and awkward situations between these two sides. What Hamilton has done for Mercedes is something that shouldn't be questioned, no matter if you're a fan of his driving or not. He won 6 driver championships and helped them win 8 constructor championships in a row. This is something that hasn't been done by any driver in the team's history. Even though it's worth mentioning that Mercedes' history in the sport isn't as long as other teams, Hamilton will leave the Silver Arrows as the undisputed king of the team. This is another reason why he could be upset that the team won't allow him to leave for Ferrari just yet. The facts speak louder than words. Hamilton is responsible for 84 out of the 125 victories that Mercedes have in their racing history. 2. Put this in perspective, the second driver on this list is Rosberg with 23 wins, and Bottas comes in third with just 10 wins for Mercedes. Hamilton is also the only driver to start over 200 races with one team. This is strong proof for those who want to question his loyalty and commitment to a team. He pushed through some of the hardest years that the team went through from 2022 to 2024. This record was previously held by Schumacher and Ferrari with 180 races. While the growing race calendar helped Hamilton achieve this, it doesn't take away from the amazing results he's had with the Silver Arrows. Right now, Hamilton obviously isn't present at every Mercedes meeting because the team wants to protect against any data leaks. Wolff said that he trusts Hamilton completely and that he won't do anything wrong, but it's still a safety measure that the team needs to take in this natural development of events. But what is more than annoying for Hamilton is that Mercedes wants to keep him until the beginning of next year. This is because he still has a lot of duties with the team, such as promotional and farewell work that the seven-time world champion would have to complete for Mercedes before he finally ends his long journey. This has been reported by Andrew Benson at the BBC. He believes that the situation we saw with Piastri and Gasly last year won't happen with Hamilton. He's saying that there is zero chance that Mercedes will let Hamilton drive for a Ferrari in Yas Marina on Tuesday after the race weekend. Of course, the team is still trying to find solid ground for life after Hamilton, especially when you consider that he's been replaced by a young driver named Kimi Antonelli. The Italian has some very big shoes to fill, but they are still keeping their options open. Even though the opinion of Wolff and his wife Susie won't change about Hamilton, this move could definitely put some tension in their relationship. When talking about Hamilton, Toto Wolff's wife Susie, who spent a lot of professional time with the seven-time world champion, sighed. Quite often you have this idea of Lewis from far away that he just shows up, jumps in, and is fast. But he works incredibly hard off the track in every aspect of his life. He's absolutely dedicated to being the best driver he can be. As much as I'm sad in a way that he is going to end his journey at Mercedes with his move to Ferrari, I think it will be an iconic moment to see him in a Ferrari race suit next season. Even the important members of Mercedes understood how big Hamilton's move to Ferrari is. Toto Wolff said that while the future looks bright for the team because they have high hopes for the new rules and big trust in their driver lineup, the effects of life after Hamilton are yet to be felt. This is a man who has achieved something that only one driver has managed to do, even beating him in many areas, and that is Michael Schumacher. So to see him leave for Ferrari because you weren't willing to commit long-term might be something that will come back later and haunt you in your dreams. Explaining more about this matter, Wolff said, "We think we have found the right combination for the future with Lewis, an icon, is leaving. As for the story of Ferrari next year, there will be a huge echo everywhere. A decision with extraordinary consequences is how I describe Hamilton's switch to red. We want to focus on the future, and that is why we have this pairing. There is no doubt that Mercedes are now working only on the future. What they have planned is to copy the success with either Antonelli or Russell, which would be easier said than done. Whether we like it or not, very few drivers on the grid are capable of achieving what Hamilton has for Mercedes. But the hopes from Wolff's side are extremely high. When talking about the future of the team's current lineup, the Austrian team principal said that he is ready to follow the Hamilton blueprint with Antonelli. He went on to say, "I think the project that inspires me more is the one that is more similar to Hamilton's career. Hamilton's growth in the junior categories and his impact in Formula One came at a time when you could test a lot more than Kimi has been able to do now." Ron at the time said Lewis needed to take it easy to get used to F1 also because Alonso was at McLaren. However, that never happened. Lewis was immediately competitive and successful. With the current preparation, Kimi can jump into our car and be competitive. However, F1 now is a different animal than it was at the time of Hamilton's debut. There are a lot more dimensions and facets compared to the past. There is more pressure in social media, so I think it is important to keep everything moving in the right direction. Keep the right priorities and avoid what is not essential. The goal is to create a new success story as happened with Hamilton. With all this in mind, do you think that Mercedes' move to block Hamilton from driving for Ferrari is fair? And if not, do you think it will create a gap that can never be closed despite the success these two had together? Let us know in the comments below, and once you've done that, have a look at the video that's appearing on your screen right now.